This is Türkiye, this is Istanbul, and this is Little Poland. Istanbul is one of the most diverse cities in the world where dozens of different ethnic groups live, many religions coexist, and countless languages are spoken. If we leave this part of Istanbul with plus 15 million inhabitants and go northeast to this forested area, at the very center we'll see the settlement of Adampol, also known as Polonezköy in Turkish. The name Polonezköy literally translates to village of the Poles in Turkish. This little-known cultural gem has been the heart of the community of the Polish Turks for 3 centuries. The story starts in 1842 when a village named Adampol was founded by the Polish statesman Adam Jerzy Czartoryski in the suburbs of Istanbul. Adam Czartoryski was among the leaders of the failed November Uprising of 1830, in which Poland rebelled to overthrow the Russian imperial rule over the country, however it failed. In the following years, many Poles were either exiled from Poland or executed by the Russian Empire. Adam Jerzy Czartoryski was among the exiled ones. He aspired to create an immigration center for the displaced Poles where his fellow country people could live in peace. In 1842, he purchased a piece of land from the French missionaries in Istanbul, the land where Polonezköy stands today. Back then, this settlement was called Adamköy in Turkish, meaning Adam's village, and Adampol in Polish, meaning Adam's field. Later in 1923, with the foundation of the Republic of Türkiye, the village got its current name Polonezköy. Over the years, many Poles started to settle in Polonezköy. Especially following the 1848 revolutions in 1853 Crimean War, the population of the village witnessed a boost. Polonezköy became a safe haven for the Poles. Prior to the foundation of the settlement, the lands were uncultivated and barren. However, the Poles spent years on forestation and turned these lands into fertile farms, beautiful gardens, and lush forests. In 1842, there had been a little more than 12 inhabitants in this village. However, by the end of the 1800s, the population of Polonezköy was around 220. The Poles of Polonezköy turned this village into a Little Poland. They built a Roman Catholic church, a Polish Catholic cemetery, and houses that bear the characteristics of Polish architecture. In 1918, when Poland became independent, some of the Poles left Istanbul and returned back to Poland, but most of them stayed back and became Turkish citizens in 1938. In the last few decades, there has been a considerable number of Turkish people settling in Polonezköy, coming from various parts of Anatolia for work. The Poles here are predominantly Catholic, and the Turks are mostly Muslims. However, these groups live together in peace. In 2024, there are about 100 4th and 5th generation Poles living in Polonezköy, around 40 of whom speak Polish to a native level, so most of them are bilingual with Turkish and Polish. In the last few decades, Polonezköy became quite a popular getaway spot among the Istanbulites. Many locals come here to spend time in nature, take a break from the city, and explore around. Hotels, restaurants, and cafes are plenty here, which has a great contribution to the local economy. Today, when you're entering Polonezköy, you will see a signboard welcoming visitors in 3 languages: Turkish, English, and Polish. In addition, you can see some plaques and memorials about the settlement with texts in both Turkish and Polish. For example, this plaque was erected in 1992 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the foundation of Polonezköy. The text you see here translates to: "Here in Polonezköy, formerly known as Adampol, the Poles lived and they still do. The citizens devote this plaque to the former and current inhabitants of this village in the 150th anniversary of its foundation." The Poles of Polonezköy are an inseparable part of Turkish society and a beautiful addition to Türkiye's cultural mosaic. Ever since 1842, Polonezköy has been kind of famous around the world. It has had many famous visitors throughout the years. According to the records of the village, famous Hungarian pianist Franz Liszt visited Polonezköy in 1847, French writer Gustave Flaubert in 1850, founder of the Republic of Türkiye Mustafa Kemal Atatürk in 1937, and former Polish president Lech Walesa in 1994. Also, Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli visited Polonezköy and gave confirmation to the Turkish-Polish children in 1941, during his service as the apostolic delegate to Türkiye and Greece. 17 years later, in 1958, Roncalli would become Pope John XXIII. Today, Polonezköy is one of the most unique cultural gems of not only Istanbul but all of Türkiye. As a Turk, it makes me feel happy to see the existence of different languages, cultures, and religions in my country. I hope Polonezköy keeps prospering as the hub of the Polish culture in Türkiye.